It says letter of resignation. Edgeworth, you don't mean... I'm tired, right? I feel as if something inside me has died. Mr. Edgeworth, none of it is your fault. I know the path I've walked. You don't need to tell me. The path I've walked hasn't been a just one. I can't forgive myself for what I've done. And no one else should forgive me either. Oh, I think he's serious. Mr. Wright, please, you have to do something. Letter of resignation. I wonder if I can use it for anything. Due to recent events, I hereby announce my resignation as public prosecutor. Really wrote a resignation letter. Wow, even when resigning, Mr. Edgeworth is cool and concise. Still, it wasn't his fault. Someone has to be held responsible, that's how it is in the grown-up world. Yeah, but that responsibility means nothing if he just quits. Well, not everyone sees it that way. To truly take responsibility, you should have to work the rest of your life for no pay. That's one tough grown-up world out there. That's another thing. It's like I was throwing a receipt for a glass line stand or something. Excuse me. Ah. Would either of you care for a £1/4 of roast beef? Mister, guess she's out of lunches. You certainly are the curious sort, aren't you? Kind of like the first person who sucked a cow's nipple to discover milk. Still, I never thought you'd go digging up that case from 2 years ago. Everyone in this trial was involved in the SL9 incident. Not only that, but the murder occurred on the very day the evidence from that case was due for transferal. This can't all be attributed to mere coincidence. Wait a minute! The evidence gets transferred out after 2 years. And the case occurred on the day. That means the case would have wrapped up like a couple of days afterward it actually went to trial. Right? Anyway. Aren't you forgetting something? You know, that little scene I happened to witness? No matter how much of the past you dig up, it won't change what I saw. Roast beef is meant to be savored when eaten. So is hatred towards Lana. It all dates back to 2 years ago. I suppose we have to talk to you now. Joe Dark. That's a name I'll not soon forget. We trailed him for half a year. Didn't he turn himself in? I'm sorry, what? That doesn't make any sense. Still, I don't think I was ever more alive than I was then. Those days were steamier than a bowl of hot gravy. Poor old Jake Marshall, though, must have been going through hell. You mean because of his brother's death? They were close, those two. After Neil died, something took over at Jake. He became obsessed. Seeing Jake like that made her all the more desperate. Her? Lana Skye. My sister. Best of the best were put on that SL9 case. Of course, they were led by that legendary duo. Lana and Chief Gant. That legendary pair was the reason we were able to keep up our investigation. That's why we were so shocked over how it turned out. You mean with the forgery of the evidence? Don't get me wrong, Joe Talk got what he deserved. Still, it was obvious the evidence produced in court was being manipulated. Items our team never found but suddenly appeared, while other items were kept secret. You don't have proof anything illegal was done. I'm proof enough of what happened. After that case, all of us save Goodman were relieved of our duties. Most not even so much as an explanation. Then Lana Skye transferred to the prosecutor's office and became chief prosecutor. Lana always wanted to be a prosecutor. Nothing's quite as simple as it appears. Huh? Lana Skye was merely being used as a pawn. That's my take on the matter. She was being used? Damon Gant and Lana Skye. That led the investigation with Lana's second in command. They were the best. They solved all kinds of cases together, didn't they? Damon Gant's magnetism in particular was almost unreal. His magnetism? By that I mean his ability to attract evidence. He'd produce the most incredible evidence in the cases he'd handled. Incredible evidence. Oh yeah, there were rumors about him even back then. No one dared confront him, though. I take it she's talking about forged evidence. Back then, everyone looked up to Lana. All the detectives wanted to be like her. Really? Oh yes, myself included. As a fool, really. She hated anything crooked and always watched out for the other detectives. That's why she was so concerned for Jake. Mr. Marshall. Jake's brother was murdered. She felt as if she had lost her own brother. Wasn't for her, I don't think Jake would have ever recovered from his shock. That's what makes it all the more infuriating. Miss Starr? That's why I'll never be able to forgive her. Why did she have to turn so cold after that? Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office 2 years ago, didn't she? Yes, thanks to Chief Gant's powerful influence. Chief... That's right. Having solved the SL9 case, his position as chief was secured. There was only one thing left for him to control. And then no one could stand in his way. The prosecutor's office. Huh. What? You mean, that's why Lana was transferred? He could control the chief prosecutor, he could control the prosecutor's office. That must have been his goal all along. But how could he control Lana? I don't know, but one thing's for sure. Ever since that case ended, she's never been the same. It's only logical to conclude there must have been a reason for her change. Last. I'm finally getting close to the bottom of this ugly mess. Thank you, Miss Starr. You listen to me, rookie. It takes more than just ingredients to create fine cuisine. I hope you turn out to be a better chef than I've been. Okay. Where am I going? So we just came from addressing... This is something. 21st Police Station, Terminal Police Department. Oh, you're back! You're still here? And make 150 copies of these files. Brew coffee, copying files, and turning into a regular DJ. You're a DJ as well? If I'm not mistaken, I think he means desk jockey. Oh, that DJ. For the two gopher, but... I admire your persistency, but my answer's still no. I'm not letting you into Chief's office. Period. Be my neck on the line. That office is the last crime scene in the SL9 incident. I have to take a look into it. Gotta be something we can do to make the detective change his mind. What do you know about this? I'm sure little advice with you as a detective. If you don't have a clue, keep your trap shut. I won't keep that in mind. Yeesh. Oh. What's this crumpled up piece of paper? No way! Mr. Edwards can't be serious. Is he ever not serious? I can't believe they've pushed him this far. Mr. Edwards really feels responsible. When I first met him, I thought he was as cold as ice too. But I know different now. He trusted us detectives to provide him with sound evidence. But we betrayed him. Detective. That's it. I've made up my mind. But here, take my ID card. We can't do that. If someone found out, I wouldn't let you off the hook with another last item report. Look at me. No secret I'm already out of the loop. After all, I'm friends with Mr. Edgeworth. Depending on how this case turns out, I may already be as good as terminated. What? But at least let me do this. For Mr. Edgeworth's sake. Alright, detective. Thank you. February 21st, Police Department Chief's Office. Here goes, Mr. Wright. We're in. If anyone finds us now, Detective Gumshoe's a Connor. If that happens, counting on you to bail me out. Yeah! Yeah! Sorry, I thought you were a ghost. I didn't even know you could slap a ghost. Hasn't this happened before? Ah, Detective Gumshoe. What are you doing sneaking up on us like that? I wasn't sneaking. I was worried something might go wrong, so I came too. You're here, then what's the point in giving us your ID card? Gumshoe's ID card crushed and rendered unusable in pocket. Hey, don't do that to my card! Oh, I should have looked at it while we had it. Now we don't have it anymore, yeah. I hardly ever get a chance to come in here, so I figured I'd have a look around myself. Besides, we're all in this together now. You really do want to get fired, don't you? Not if we're lucky. Now come on, let's see what we can find out. I've got a bad feeling about this. That desk on the other side of the room, was that your sister's? Yes, that's where I was waiting for Lana. On that day 2 years ago. Anyone using it now? No, sir. This is entirely Chief Gant's office now. He practices a strict policy of preserving the crime scene. That's a strange reason to leave it there. Leaves it as a warning to everyone else. Wants us to always be alert. He told us so himself at our New Year's party. Of course, he was pretty intoxicated at the time. I see. So ever since Lana left, no one ever touches that task? No one except Chief Gant! And the cleaning lady who's in here each morning. Still, 2 years have passed since that incident. There can't possibly be any clues remaining. Can I ask you something? Sure. You only came here to look around, right? Because it's one of the SL9 crime scenes? I mean, that's the only reason for coming here, isn't it? Why do you ask? You don't think? Nah, you wouldn't be. Nah! There's no way. Never mind. Don't worry about it. Okay, now then, let's look around a bit more. Hey, hold on! Not so fast, buddy! Buddy instead of pal? Someone tells you don't worry about it, it's supposed to stop bothering you, pal! Don't just let it go at that. Sorry. This guy's starting to get on my nerves. Here's what's bothering you. You two don't think Chief Gant might be a suspect, do you? What? That's right, Mr. Wright. What do we think of him? Chief Gant. So it's finally come to this. What do I think of him? Perhaps it's best I don't divulge my feelings. Yet. There you go, ignoring me again. Alright. Sure. This is a safe, isn't it? Safe. That wood is ripe with intrigue. Okay, say so. Looks like a code needs to be entered in this panel to open it. A 7-digit number. I think I just might know what it is. Oh... Do you know what it is? I have a hunch. Oh, I know. You want to try my birthday? It's... I have a better idea. Here goes nothing. You ready for this? You ready for this? Yes! Bingo! What number did you enter? Whose birthday was that, pal? Don't think it's anyone's birthday, pal. Final ID card number on that record. What? Number of the mysterious executive officer who entered the room that day. You mean 777777777? That ID number? You went 7 shy this time. Oh really? I can only make one thing. That's your Get's ID number. Say, anyone care to look inside? Is there any money in there? How much does he have stashed away? Look, it's the... Oh! That looks really weird. I've seen this before. Something else here too. What's this? Looks like a piece of leather cloth. This is a handprint, isn't it? Hey, I saw someone wearing a shirt like that once. Think the chief made up the design? I don't think so. It's a joke, but so good. Oh well, it was just a thought. Is that it? This is all that was in the safe? Apparently so, it's empty now. These cloths with a handprint on it, and a broken shard from a cup. It's looking like it was the Dope Brotherhood. No, I don't... They look like pieces of evidence. Yeah, but unless you can prove they have something to do with the case, I'm afraid I can't just let you take them. After all, it's my neck on the line here. Great. I have to prove their relevancy to get them. How are these two items related to the SL9 incident? Come on. There's gotta be something we can show the detective. Oh, Next from Gumshoe, could you have another look at this jar? I remember when the three of us put that back together. Ah, those were the days. Yesterday. It's kind of early to be nostalgic. Wasn't this jar a piece of evidence from that case? That's right. When the shard has an SL9 incident sticker on it. Doesn't this ring any bells? You know, that fragment we just found? Do you mean this one? That was in the safe? Yeah, that one. It was in the safe. Now that you mentioned it, it is ringing a lot of bells. Okay, just a moment. Mute. Just a little bit of stuffiness I had to take care of. Let's see if it fits! Hey, wait, this isn't lined up. There we go. Here, let me see that chart. I'll take a crack at this. Go ahead, pal. Show us what a rookie can do. Mr. Wright, here's some glue. If I can piece this together again, it'll prove Chief Gant was knowingly hiding evidence. Here goes. Rotate is this. Gotta Turquoise means Chief Gant willingly and knowingly hid a piece of this jar in his safe. In other words, he concealed a piece of evidence. Okay, wait. Oh, I didn't update yet. But, hey guys, get a load of this! What is it? This piece you just attached, it's different from the others. There's a reddish line on it. Reddish line. It's blood. I don't get it. Why would Chief Gant hide this in his safe? Zoom. Can't rotate it the way I want. Oh, there we go. That works. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, wait. 15%. This. There's Gumshoe, I'd like you to have a look at this. Hey, I know what that is. Do you want to take some fingerprints? It's a great idea, detective. Alright, go to town. Sheesh. What are you doing? Why are you sticking your hand out like that? Hey, go ahead, take my fingerprints. It's not your fingerprints we want to take. Huh? Oh, come on, this isn't the time for jokes. We're talking about that cloth we found in the safe. Oh, I knew that. The one with the handprint on it, right? Jeez, where's your sense of humor? Okay, Mr. Wright, check for prints, sprinkles powder on the cloth. Okay. Yeah. I have my best shot. Kind of result won't get any good from matching prints, will it? But it doesn't look like we'll get a clearer result from this print. Start a different figure then. That's looking good. Go. It's not Damon Gant. I have an inkling. Wait, what does this mean? We don't know what the class is yet. We just know that it's there. Well, we'll find out. No. How can this be? What are Emma's fingerprints doing here? Hey, you found a match? Whose fingerprints were they? It seems the prints are too old. They aren't clear enough to get a match. That's too bad. I thought they'd be dog's prints. Take it over here. What's going on here? What are that kid's prints doing inside the chief's safe? Don't ask me. Just keep this information from Emma for now. That always goes well. Anyway, is there been a time we really did that into this? I mean, okay. Maybe I'm just being too trope savvy because this isn't really something Phoenix has done before. I guess. Here. Maybe you should hold on to this. Alright. You can see pretty far from 15 stories up. If you were to drop that suit of armor from here. At first, the chief wanted to use stained glass for this window. Really? Why didn't he? I say he changed his mind because he wouldn't be able to see the view. Oh? Stained glass or not, it's a huge window. This is the real deal, isn't it? This armor and these weapons? Sure is, pal. Chief doesn't care for imitations. First the pipe broken, now this armor. Do you know how many taxpayer dollars must have gone into this room? What? You mean we're paying for this? That's it. I'm not paying 1 cent of my taxes. You don't have any taxes to pay. If you buy things, you pay sales tax. I mean... Shh! Be careful of what you say. Who knows? Chief may be hiding into somewhere as we speak. I don't think he'd fit in there. Even if he did, he'd never be able to get back out. Get out! You guys don't know how scary that guy can be. The Chief's organ is sure a sight to behold. Occasionally, we hear him playing it from the Criminal Affairs Department. That's on the 2nd floor, and this is the 15th floor of an entirely different building. When a detective messes up, the Chief calls on them to his... calls them to his office. Makes them listen to the organ for hours. What's so bad about that? Music soothes the soul. After that, the detective can't hear anything for days, except for the ringing in their ears. So it's an instrument of punishment. Literally. But aren't the Chief's ears affected? Never listens to anyone anyway. It's beside the point. Look at that giant window. Makes you want to crash through it and jump outside. This is the 15th floor. I know, I was just saying. Saying what? Ever since making detective, I've always dreamed about doing something like that. Note to self, Detective Gumshoe has a lot of dreams. As long as he doesn't go crashing through that window when he gets fired. Don't say that! The shelves are mostly empty. Anna must have cleaned them out when she transferred over to the prosecutor's office. There's a small picture frame on the left shelf. Hey! This is the one and I went to that theme park. Let me see! Let me see! Okay. This is Lana's desk. It sure is tidy. Lana's always been a meticulous cleaner. There's not even any dust on it. It looks like someone's still keeping it clean. Does Lana ever come back here? No. Chief Kent must still keep it clean in memory of their partnership. They were the stuff legends are made of. Does he keep it in memory of who or memory of the crime? This was taken on that day 2 years ago. The day Dark ran out of the questioning room and tried to kill Emma. After receiving his award trophy, Mr. Marshall took a picture here. Then went along with Chief Kent to question Doc. I bet he knew he'd be dead just a few hours later. No new talk options. Actually... Hey, look here! Hard to make out, but there's a dark red stain here. Looks like blood. This piece that Chief has is different though. The blood stains on the other pieces are just spots, but this one's a line. That is odd. It's a handprint, right? Yeah, someone left behind an oil stain on the fabric. Well, they must have had a really oily hand. Mr. Wright, think about it scientifically. Huh? The likely explanation is, the person slipped and fell down a freshly waxed flute, getting wax all over their hand. Well, that would account for this amount of oil, I guess. I don't see what's so scientific about it, though. It happens, you know? I always slip on the flutes at school after they're waxed. Well, that explains it. Do we have any new... No. I must be missing something. Oh. Wow, look at the size of Chief Gant's desk. Thinking of that when we were here earlier. Oh, it's you two. Chief Gant? Yeah, okay. Oh, we need to look in the desk. When Rudy was reading, we get to find that. This looks like a list of evidence. List of evidence? In most cases, the list runs twice as long as this, so. Hey, look at the case name. Huh? Some mine incident. Wonder what this is doing here. Hold on, detective. What did you just say? I said, I wonder what... No, about evidence lists. Normally they're twice as long? That's right. Guess there wasn't a lot of evidence. Half-size list of evidence. What would the other half of the list be doing? Wait, it's the other half. So... Chief Gant was hiding half the evidence. I guess that's what it is. I knew it. Chief must be hiding something about that case. It would appear so. Okay, wait. Let me look at it. Okay, it's... I can't even see the SL9 numbers. Why is it giving me a list for... Well, that would be why. She drew a picture. I wonder what this is. It looks like someone drew some kind of sketch here. What is it? Did you find something? Can't make it out. I'd better keep... When characters don't talk because plot. Huh? No, it's nothing. Why are your eyes moving about like that, Mr. Wright? I will not forget about this picture. Okay. Well, was I any help? Of course. Thanks to your ID code, we were able to get some hard evidence. Now that's not very kind, is it? In other words, if it wasn't for his ID code, he would have been useless. Isn't that right, you in the coat? Chief Gant! We didn't think you'd be back so soon. Fortunately, I'm a man who believes in signs. As I was walking to my meeting, I happened to look out a window and see a stray dog run right into a pole. Just then, I thought of a certain detective. You mean me, sir? Now then, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask that you all leave. Yes, sir. Sorry. Oh, you in the coat. Me, sir? Drop off your ID on the way out. You won't be needing it anymore. But sir... Now get out. Yes, sir. We'll be on our way too, then. Wait, you. The one without the spiky hair. Don't go yet. Me, sir? I'd like a word with you. But, sir, I'm not a licensed scientific investigator yet. You with the spiky hair, you're free to go. Mr. Wright. Look, pal, I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. Chief's office is off limits. But no, you just had to go sneaking in there like that, didn't you? You said you didn't care anywhere if you were fired. Yeah, but if I knew it'd be like this, I never would have said it. Now that I've seen the evidence Chief Gant was hiding in his office, I think I'm finally starting to get the picture. Why has she kept eerily silent about it all this time? Anyway, you listening to me? I'm gonna try to smooth things over with the Chief again. Later, pal. After that, I heard from Emma. Said the police wanted to ask her some questions. So she'll be busy for the rest of the day. I see. So the Chief asked Emma to come in for questioning. It's no use thinking about it. Tomorrow's the final day in court. I'm committed to doing everything I can to defend you, which is why I'm here. I've already told you all I can. What you've told me over these past couple of days is absolutely nothing. Not a single useful thing. Really? I believe I did mention something quite important. Something I told you right at the beginning. I said that I was the one who stabbed Detective Goodman. You know, I think I finally figured it out. I know who it is that's lurking behind your words. Mia did a good job mentoring you. I'm rather jealous. Seems Edgeworth was right. Edgeworth. Once you're convinced you know something, no one can persuade you otherwise. Thick-headed is the term he used, I believe. There's my chance to get her to tell me the rest of the story. I have to admit, I was more than a little perplexed at first. You insisted you did it, yet there was no incriminating evidence. That's when it hit me. It's not that you're unwilling to tell the truth. It's that you're incapable of doing so. Because of a certain individual. What an intriguing notion. A certain individual, you say? Do you think I'm protecting this person? Protecting? No, I think afraid of is more like it. If I'm not mistaken, the person in question may have persuaded you to silence. For argument's sake, Mr. Wright, who may I ask is this person you're speaking of? The one who I'm supposedly so frightened of. What is this person's name?
Take that!
Well, Miss Sky? Mr. Wright, you are addressing the Chief Prosecutor. Do not forget your place. I think that she's still not ready to spill the beans. My apologies. Could you please tell me a bit more about what you think you know? We were partners until 2 years ago. I respected him as a detective. Assuming he's respectable, then tell me something. Why would he try to hide his crimes? His crimes? Both you and Edgeworth will be brought before a board of inquiry for what you did. Specifically, hiding and forging evidence. Of course, these are serious offenses. Why is it, though, that Chief Gant's name was never mentioned? Chief Gant? Edgeworth didn't know the truth behind the forgery. The only party who could have possibly tampered with the evidence was me. I had access because I was second in command of that investigation. Yes, you, but also one other, Damon Gant. If you intend to accuse Chief Gant, you'll need more than just words. Show me proof that Chief Gant falsified evidence in that case. Do I do this? Do I do this? Do I do this?
Take that!
I'll try that one. You want proof of the Chief's wrongdoings? Here it is. That evidence proves someone is doing something wrong, alright. But it's not the Chief. Who would that be? Why, you, of course. Me? Yes. You seriously believe what you're saying, don't you? Now that's scary. You seem to have the makings of a criminal in you, what with all your fallacious accusations. Care to spend tonight in this cell next to mine? If you ask me, yours is a scary one. Okay, let's try this again.
Take that!
I just found this in a safe in the Chief's office. This door piece and this piece of clock. Do you know what these are? They're pieces of evidence from the SL9 incident. The person concealing evidence was none other than Chief Gant himself. Now tell me, why are you taking all the blame for him? Touché, Mr. Wright. As you surmised, cannot disobey the Chief's orders. And if it means being found guilty for murder. Why not? Come now, Mr. Wright, you can't possibly expect me to be able to tell you that. 3 days ago, I had no choice but to cooperate. In the murder of Detective Goodman. Or perhaps I should say follow orders. Yes, that's more accurate than cooperate. Though I can't tell you the details, I can say that I was given an order that day. I need you to dispose of Bruce Goodman's body. You'll find it inside the trunk of Miles Edgeworth's car. Just as I suspected, despite what everyone believes, you were not the one who murdered Detective Goodman. Correct. I was trying to take the body out of Edward's car. The trunk's lock was broken, and I discovered the murder weapon while inspecting the body. Murder weapon? You mean Edward's knife? No. When I found the body, this was the knife stuck in it. The knife from the SL9 incident, the serial killer Joe Dark's knife. You couldn't just leave that knife in him. So I took it out and stabbed him with another knife. That would be Edward's knife, and that would be what Mr. witnessed. That's right. Even though he was already dead, my hands were shaking at the thought of stabbing him. That's why I ended up cutting my hand. And that's the reason for the bandage on your right hand. Yes, seems that I got blood on the victim's shoes as well. And then she saw me just as I plunged the knife in. Miss Starr, huh? It's all coming together. Why did you need to hide Dark's knife so badly? It took a lot of work to finally close the Dark case 2 years ago. It was over with. I didn't ever want it to be opened again. My attempt was to prevent that by whatever means possible. So, you hid Dark's knife. The weapon used to stab the detective was evidence in the Joe Dark case. If word got out, which it would, the reporters would have a field day with that. So you wrapped the knife in your scarf and hid it. In Edward's exhaust pipe. Right. Then I called my sister to tell her what happened, and to ask her to hide the knife that was inside the muffler. You asked Emma? I didn't want anyone on the force to know about this. That would explain why Emma is so confident about Lana's innocence. Speaking of phone calls, I had a bad feeling about one of them that day. Bad feeling? Truth is, after I received those orders from Chief Gant, the first thing I did was make a phone call. A phone call to Patrolman Jake Marshall. To Marshall? Why on earth would he call him? The lead investigator for the SL9 incident had been murdered. I wanted that fact to be kept hidden, and I needed help. He was the only other person I could trust. Or at least, I thought I could trust him at the time. However, it seems that after I spoke to him, he went off on an escapade of his own. Oh, you mean... Not wanting the case to die, he decided to take things into his own hands. He disguised himself as a Detective Goodman and tried to steal the evidence. He had already stolen the ID card. I wanna see... Wow, he even got the tie, the hat, everything. No, stop. But it seems he still hadn't made up his mind to break into the evidence room. After my phone call, any remaining doubts he had must have disappeared. So your phone call caused the incident into the evidence room. I'm afraid that's all I can tell you. But Lana, you've earned my respect, Mr. Wright, both as a defense attorney and an investigator. Now please, don't pursue this any further in court tomorrow. Tomorrow's trial is only one way to drive off Lana's demons. I've got to get to the bottom of everything. Detective Goodman's real murderer and what went down in the chief's office 2 years ago. Whew. Well, we've run on quite long, so I'll probably be splitting this one in half. Yeah, definitely. Tomorrow might be the last episode, though. I'll see all of y'all then.